Well, Fatima, it's Miss ILene again. And after I did my first video with you, I decided that I wanted to do some coloring for myself. And so I thought I would show you a few techniques that I'm working on. This is a picture. Let me show you the overall picture here. Let's see if we can, yeah. It's a cat sitting in an inner tube, got some waves on the bottom, got some fish, got a little sunshine there. So I'm working on the waves, and I'm using my blender pencil again. I just wanted to show you another little technique that I'm doing. For one of the things I forgot to tell you in the first video, and I didn't do it because it was kind of a scrap page, was that anytime I do adult coloring, I take a paper towel and I rest my hand on it, and then I do my coloring. Grab my pencil here. I do my coloring. The reason for that is if I had had this all colored in, I don't want to be laying my hand on it because it smudges it. So what I'd like you to do is get into the habit of getting a half sheet paper towel. See, it's just a regular paper towel. Fold it in half and get into the habit of putting your hand on it so that whenever you color, you're not smudging the pages. So I wanted to show you a little more about the blending pencil. I'm doing the waves here, and on the very bottom I decided to do a dark blue. I did a mint green. I think I put my mint green away already. What did I do? Yeah, this is my mint green, and so I'm highlighting the waves with the green. You can see it along the top, and then the blue and the green in the middle. And there's another set of waves. Let's see. I can get up here. There's another set of waves up here. I'll go ahead and do the same thing. But what I wanted to show you, let me get this back. What I wanted to show you is how I'm using my blender pencil again. Is I'm taking my dark blue. This is a Faber-Castell Helio Blue Reddish. I don't know if you have it in your set, but you can get any blue. And what I did is I colored the bottom of the waves the dark blue. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about pencil technique later, but whenever you color with your pencils, you want to put a light shade down first. In other words, put the color in lightly, because you can always go back and darken it up after the fact, whereas it's going to be a little harder for you to lighten it if you change your mind. Let me show you something here. Let me grab my other book, my tropical book here, and show you what I mean here. Okay. These are the hummingbirds. Let me pull out a little bit here. These are the hummingbirds that I did, and you know, your mom and you already saw them because I posted them on Facebook. But the thing that I wanted to show you, let me show you the tail feathers here, is the advice about putting the color down lightly first. When I did the tail feathers here, I did them in the light, in this case the light purple, and then I was going to go ahead and color them in dark. But I decided that I liked the light color better, and so I left them light, and then I made the inside of the feather tails darker. I already knew I wanted them darker because I knew I wanted the contrast, but here's my point. When I started coloring the birds, I did it lightly, thinking, again, I was going to color them in dark, but I liked how the light color looked. So that's another one of the reasons why you should always color your spot lightly with whatever color you're using, and then gradually add pressure until you get to a color shade that you like. All right. We can talk a little bit more about that later. So, which I'll talk about on the waves. So here's the waves I'm working on. I'm pulling a little closer. And so I'm using the same color pencil in the two spot, but this is the dark part that I am using, so I colored a little bit firmer here. because I knew I wanted that dark, but I'm using the very same pencil and I'm not pushing down as hard. So I'm using one pencil to, in effect, get two different colors. Now, I colored lightly, okay? Now, another thing you got to watch out, because it's happening right now, every time you go back over a spot that you've colored, you're adding another shade to that color. So you've got to be very careful that you don't do that. In other words, once you get a color shade that you like, be careful about going over it again because it's just going to get darker. So here I am. I'm coloring in the bottom part of these waves, and I knew that I wanted to make the top very light. So what I did is I colored up to a certain point, so it was about there. And then I got my blender pencil, and what did I tell you to do with the blender pencil just before you use it? What did I tell you? Wipe it on a, what? Clean sheet of paper to get rid of any other color that was on there beforehand. See, I had some gray on there, so I'm cleaning it off. So now my tip is nice and clean. Always, just before you're going to color, always clean your blender. So watch what happens now. I'm going to pull this color up, this blue, and I'm going to pull it up into what? The tip of the wave. Look how cool that is. Now, in this case, you can scrub back and forth a little bit because here's the spot right here where I have the dark and the light. If I want to be careful and make sure that blends very lightly, you can scrub that so that the colors merge. Okay? So watch. Look how that happens now. Isn't that beautiful? We've got the dark blue, the lighter blue, and then a very light color here. Now, I have to do something about this little wave here, but because it's right along the edge, I can't exactly pull the color up. So I'm going to take my blender pencil and very carefully pick up some of the blue, and I could even pick it up from here if I wanted to. And then, look at that. Look how that colors. I hope that's picking up on the video here. Let me try and get that for you. Look how that picks up that blue. That's why you've got to clean your blender pencil every time you change colors just before you're going to go ahead and use it, because it will smear the last color that you had. So see, I'm picking up the blue and I'm coloring this wave, the crest of the wave. Now, I have to take my eraser pencil because I got it over the edge a little bit, and notice my hand's resting on the paper, right? So I'm going to clean that off. And what? Do I wipe it with my hand? What did I tell you earlier? No. Take my paper towel, just gently clean that off. Okay? So, I'm going to do the third wave so you can watch me do this. Now, watch. So I'm going to color this in. And again, I'm not pressing too hard because I don't want that dark blue. I'm going to go back here, and I missed a few spots here that I'm going to pick up on here. Okay. So I'm not going to press very hard. I'm carefully going around all my shapes, right? And I'm going to go in little circles right here because I'm going right by something that's rounded. And again, be careful not to get too dark. Now notice how I'm stopping my blue part way up the wave. Okay? All right. So I'm going to go on further a little bit here. Make sure it's still in the view here. Yeah. So I'm going to color that. And remember, as I told you, you don't rush through adult coloring. When I was doing those dolphins, they took me a long time because they had a lot of detail on it. Now I got to be careful my blue doesn't get too dark, right? Because I want a lighter blue here, a darker blue here. So I'm coloring, and I'm only going to go part way up the wave, right? Okay, let's get around the corner here. And notice how I slow down when I get near the edges, or when I bump up against a black line or another color. You don't race through adult coloring. It's meant to be, you take your time. It's like you're painting a picture. You're creating a beautiful picture. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Now, I've cleaned off my blender pencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling the blue. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see if this helps you. Okay, I'm going to start pulling that blue up to the wave. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? See, I can just pick up my color. Now look, I can get a little bit of my blue color from down below if I want. And just come around carefully. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't think you can see the effect as clearly as I can because it's on camera. So kind of trust me there how nice that looks. Let me see if I can get, yeah, a little bit close. Oh yeah, you can see that. See? Now, I'm going to kind of go in a little bit of a circle to clean up that dividing line between the dark part and it getting lighter. Okay? And I'm just going to carefully pull the blue up. Now, another thing I'm doing, and you can see this, see where all that white stuff is? Okay, that's where the paper didn't absorb the color pencil. So I'm going to take my blender pencil, watch what happens. See how that all goes away? That's what your blender pencil does, is it fixes areas where the paper didn't quite absorb the color. Now this particular book that I'm using, it's a less expensive one, so the quality of the paper isn't quite as good as the other ones. The Tropical World one, that's high quality. But see, look how that all went away. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm using that word a lot, am I? Gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to pull the blue up over the wave, and what? I'm going to wipe with the paper towel. Okay, what do you think? You like that? So I'm going to pull out a little. So I've done this wave, and this wave, and I'm going to do one more so you can see it. So here I've got my blue, and again, if I need to get more blue on my tip, I got to be careful about pulling it from my lighter blue because that's going to start maybe showing the paper through here. So I can go into my darker blue and smudge it on the end of my pencil. See how that turned blue? Let's see if this picks up. No. Let's see if that gets clear. See how I got all that blue on there? Okay, so now I take that blue and look how that smears up on there. Isn't that great? All right, so here I'm pulling up my blue. And I want to have it come up on the wave. I'm going to get some blue from the bottom because I think I need a little more. And right around the corner, very, very carefully. Okay, so let's look at that again. I'm going to tip this up so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to just gently go in circles. So that you don't see the line between the dark blue and the wave that I want to color. So that it looks like there's a nice natural progression of color. Okay? And then, because I want this to look smoother, I'm going to use my blender pencil and I'm going to smooth out this blue so that there aren't little white crinklies in it. Let's get that cleaned up. There's a spot there. There we go. And again, wipe with that. And you can see, look at those three waves. Isn't that beautiful? So I've got my dark blue here. I've got the green. I'm not going to touch it with the tip of my point. I'm using the same color blue here, but lighter, right? And then I used my blender pencil to pull the blue up into the tip of the wave so that the wave looks really cool. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to be doing this one 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's going to look really neat with those shades of blue. And this is the whole idea behind adult coloring, Fatima, is I could have just colored this all blue, right? I could have just done dark blue all the way through. But you know what? When you are an artist and you're growing up, you want to put more care into your picture and just see kind of what creative things you can do with it. And so really by using one pencil with this blue, I've created 3 colors, right? Dark blue, medium blue, and then the real light blue with my blender pencil. Okay, kiddo, that's it. Just wanted to show you that real quick. You take care, and I hope that helped you. Let me give you one more close-up shot so you can see. Yep. And that'll be it. You take care now. Bye-bye.